Maginachamarandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshmatunina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapatam Bhutale Swayam Bhakadamayam Danti Sambadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yathapatakam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakala Raghunatham Tam Shri Jivam Sadvaitam Sarvatam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishalitam Sahivam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagadvare Gopisha Gopinakanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurani Radhe Vrindavadeshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vajjakalpatarubhesha Primasviduryeja Vajitam Bhavilyo Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashaya Bhutale Shri Bhakti Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So this Kartik month starts today, and of course in Vrindavan they're celebrating with great festivity, but also wherever there is a bona fide temple, that also is the Vrindavan atmosphere, or the Vrindavan mood. Actually, this whole material world is a replica of Sri Vrindavan Dham. But the problem is we can't see it. We don't realize it. Rupa Goswami gives a word of bhakti ras, and ras means the flavor, the taste, or bhakti. And bhakti ras has 5 ingredients called samagati. When you do a havan, you have like ingredients, like ghee, grain, flowers, samagri. So the 5 samagris of bhakti ras are vibhavs, anubhavs, sattvika, astika bhavs, sanchari bhavs, and the king of all bhavs, the sthai bhav, our relationship with Krishna. So going back to the vibhav, there's the lambana and there's the udipa. So udipa means something which reminds you or stimulates your thoughts for Lord Krishna, for Lord Chaitanya, for Lord Ramachandra, or even Lord Nishingadev. Like in Udipan, the Lord Nishingadev could be a pillar, right? You're in a pavilion or gateway, you see a pillar, and you think of Lord Shingadeva. That's if you're advanced. And of course, if you are if you have wooden Shingadevas, you're worshiping Lord Istadeva. So this whole material world is full of udipans. For instance, we see cows. So there are Sarathi cows in Vrindavan. There are hills. I live in a valley of 1,000 hills. You know that? I counted them one day. So in Vrindavan there's also the hills, Parashana Hill, Nandagram Hill, Govardhana Hill, and many other hills. And Vishwanath has mentioned these hills have a relationship with Krishna. They're actually in Sakya-rasa. They're in friendship with Krishna, believe it or not. And there are rivers. We're going to have quite a few rivers shortly. So there's the river Jinguna and Saraswati and so many, and there's kunds. We have various kunds here in Durban. It's sort of like a pothole that's gone big. So you have Shama Kund, and you have Radha Kund, and you have Surya Kund. So you go, you see the sun in the morning. We should offer respect to the sun in the morning. And simply by looking at the sun, you become purified. But can't look too long, because it might damage the eyes also. So in Vrindavan, the Surya Kund, you can go there. It's not far from Radhakund. Surya Kund. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, one of our illustrious acharyas, which is on the altar. He spent time there with Bhajan and tears there, Surya Kund. So in this material world, there are men, and this reminds us of the cowboy boys, he says to Krishna. There are ladies, there are young girls, like this young girl here. How old are you? 8. So there are young girls, then there are slightly older girls who we will not identify as. But there are older ladies, Mother Yasoda. And there's rain coming here, there's rain. So King Indra sent some rain, and rain in Vrindavan. So this material world is full of things to remind us of Krishna. Then every now and again, there are festivals. Actually, every day in Vrindavan is festivals. So we're celebrating this particular festival, the month of Kartik. When Srila Prabhupada, our Guru, Maharaj, established ISKCON, he just gave us the general principles. Never forget Krishna, and always remember Krishna, accept whatever is favorable for devotional service. So he didn't give us the nitpicky, intricate rules. We might think, oh, I'm following so many rules. My name is Das, and I follow all the rules. I'm a stickler for rules and regulations. But I just read today, actually, in Hari Bhakti Vilas, it says you shouldn't clean your teeth on Ekadashi. I've never heard that one before. And I've been around for 50 years. First time. And then Ekadashi is taken for granted. You stay up all night and nirjal, no water. So we never knew all these things. And even now we know them. We're still not doing them. Because it's a little out of our league. You know, like there's different leagues, you know. But it's sort of like the bottom league. So to begin with, we didn't know about the importance of Kartik. We never even knew about it. It wasn't until the mid-1980s that in Vrindavan they started to have the Vrindavan Institute for Higher Education, 87, 88, and invite senior devotees like Chaitanya Maharaj. I remember I also used to give talks during that 1 month. And then Kartik was, emphasized. Only in the late 1980s, actually. Now, of course, there's more momentum. And it's a very festive occasion. And the different temples all over the world celebrate with the offering of the lamp. So let's read what Prabhupada, we are followers of Prabhupada, so let's hear what he has to say. Nectar devotion, further aspects of transcendental service. Performing devotional service in Kartik. One of the most important of these ceremonial functions is called Ujja Vrat. Ujja Vrat is observed in the month of Kartik, brackets October, November, changes. Especially in Vrindavan. There is a specific program for temple worship of the Lord in his Damodar form. Damodar refers to Krishna being bound with a rope by his mother Yashoda. It is said that just as Lord Damodar is very dear to his devotees, so the month known as Damodar or Kartika is also very dear to them. So the first question is, how is it that God can have a mother? So he allows his devotee to take that position. Nanda Maharaj, Mother Yashoda. Of course, God has no father or mother. He's the original source of everything. But in order to have pastimes. So second point is that just as Mother Yashoda was able to capture Krishna during the month of Kartik, then we are able to capture, if we're sincere and if we're serious, we can capture Krishna within our heart in the month of Kartik. It's easier to capture him. And I use those words, serious and sincere. Prabhupada said, you can see Krishna directly if you are serious and if you are sincere. So his Damodar form, this baby form. So in Vrindavan there are 3 ages of Krishna, although Krishna simultaneously all 3 at once. So the young age, birth to 5, is Kumara. And that's the Damodar age. Then 5 to 10 is Uganda. And then 10 to 15 is Kishore. And then of course there's divisions in each age. But Krishna and Radharani are simultaneously all of them. It's a little mind-blowing how you can be 3 ages at once or many ages at once. We are only 1 age, and day by day it's going older. We may not want it to, but we're being forced by the influence of the time factor. Looking around, I see many older devotees. It's very nice you've come here on this day. So we're growing older. So continuing, Prabhupada says, the execution of devotional service during Ujjvala Brat is the month of Kartik. It is especially recommended to be performed at Mathura. This system is still followed by many devotees. They go to Mathura or Vrindavan and stay there during the month of Kartik, specifically to perform devotional service during this period. So as I mentioned in the mid-1980s, late 1980s, devotees, senior devotees like Goswami used to go there and give talks to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Continuing, in the Padma Purana it is said, the Lord may offer liberation or material happiness to a devotee, but after some devotional service has been executed, particularly in Mathura, during the month of Kartik, the devotee wants only to attain pure devotional service unto the Lord. That's the quote. So now Prabhupada's commentary. The purport is that the Lord does not award a devotional service to ordinary persons who are not serious about it. So devotional service is very rare. And we take it for granted. And sitting next to us and behind us so many devotees, we tend to take for granted. But actually it's extremely rare to be a devotee of the Lord. Mukti namapi siddhanam. Very, very rare. And to be a pure devotee of the Lord is even rarer. In Canto 6, chapter 14, text 5, Srila Prabhupada quotes Madhva Acharya from the Tantra Bhagavad. In English it is, there are 90 million demigods and 70 million sages, and hardly one is a Narayana Namaha, a pure devotee. Hardly one is a pure devotee. They may be devotees, but mixed. Mixed, it means they have material desires also. Not the pure devotee. Very rare, extremely rare. The purport is, the Lord does not award devotional service to ordinary persons, but even such unserious persons who execute devotional service according to the regulative principles during Kartik, within the jurisdiction of Mathura in India, are very easily awarded the Lord's personal service. So personal service, this means Dasyaras Sakya. You play with Krishna, like the cowherd boys, or Mother Yasoda, or the gopis. You dance with Krishna and make flower garlands for him. So during the month of Kartik, we should try to renew our vows. There's no harm in doing this, to renew our vows, or to even add some new vow to Lord Krishna. So for this next month, we should try to increase the quality and the quantity of our devotional service. And of the two, which would you say is the most important? Quality. Quality is always more important. Substance and form. Substance is more important. Substance is more important than quality. So we say increase your rounds, all right, but quality of chanting is most important. Quality of your service. So I'll read just a few suggestions that I happened to write some years ago about ways we can increase the quality and the quantity. So you may resonate, you may adopt one of these ideas. So visit the mandir every day where you can offer the lamp and circumambulate the Lord. So that's one. Visit every day. If you can't, then at least you offer the lamp. And you should have the picture of Radha Radhanath. Everyone should have a picture of Radha Radhanath, Jagannath Subhadra Balaram from Phoenix Temple, and Nitai Gaurahari. They should have on their altar. These are the predominating deities of ISKCON South Africa. And also, of course, Radha Damodar. So if you can't come, you offer the lamp to the deity, to the picture. A deity can be a picture. A deity can also be in marble. A deity can be in metal. Yeah, that ashta. You know, the 8 metals like brass, what else? Copper, gold, silver, etc. A deity can also be in the mind, manasa. Because the mind is material and marble is also material. So what's the difference? So deity can be in stone or marble or soapstone. A deity can also be 2-dimensional. It can be picture. It can be picture. Yeah. So number 2, offer a lamp to the Lord, either at home or in the mandir. I just said that. So read 1 chapter of Bhagavad Gita daily. Now you can read the Sanskrit, the English. If you can, you read the purport. Actually, the purports are more important than the translations. Purport is called tika. So tika is more important because it helps us enter. But still, you're busy, you're working, housewives, so maybe you just read the translation. Now if you read every day 1 chapter, then after 18 days, you've read the Bhagavad Gita. Not bad. Read 1 chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam daily. Again, the Sanskrit. You can read it. Some of these chapters are quite short. Some are longer. Like the 10th canto has 90 chapters. So, especially you read Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, described in the Krishna book. So this would be the best thing to read from the Bhagavatam. Krishna's childhood pastimes described in the Krishna book by Prabhupada. Now, this is something practical. Of course, you can do more than one. You can do many of these things. Distribute 1 book daily. So that will amount to 30 books. So Prabhupada wanted us to distribute. So you can give it out free or whatever. Some neighbor. Take a fasting vow. Fasting. So the idea is to increase your remembrance of Krishna. Always remember Krishnastami, Ekadashi, Kartik. The whole idea is to increase your remembrance. That's called Mukhya. Mukhya means primary. And Gauna is secondary. It's secondary. So secondary is to fast or to sleep less. So it's more important to increase your remembrance of Krishna. But obviously if you sleep less or eat less, this will stimulate and help you. Just like in Kirtan, you have primary, you have secondary. Now primary is Mukhya. So in Kirtan, Mukhya or primary is the holy name. And secondary, Gauna, is the instruments. The mridanga, the cartels, the bongo drum, or the whatever. It's all secondary. And if that drowns out or becomes more significant than the holy name, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. Holy name is primary. The holy name. Prabhupada actually encourages to even play the harmonium during Mangalarti. So actually we don't. But it's a very melodious, and it would be very nice early in the morning, wouldn't it? Like a harmonium. But we're not supposed to play it. And we don't during Mangalarti. And even I can't remember any videos of Prabhupada playing the harmonium in a kirtan. Sometimes the drum now and again, like in Tompkins Square. The bongo, the drum, yeah. But mostly kartal. But he actually didn't lead kirtans in public with harmonium. Of course we can also. That's all right. No harm. So, fasting vow. So what does that mean? So eat less. So you might want to think, well, let me try fasting till midday or till the sun rises, sorry, the moon rises, rather the sun goes down, or dusk. You may. Another is fruit, milk, yogurt. It depends on your body. Some people, I met this one Vaishnava, he lives at Radhakund, and he told me for 10 years he walked around Radhakund, he walked around Govardhan Hill twice in one day. Twice in one day. That's 16 miles or 23 kilometers, twice. So I said, well, what was your time schedule? So he said, well, he told me in the summer. So it gets a little cooler about 6. So he'd start at 6 or 7, and he could do it in 4.5 hours. And he'd get back to Radhakund, take bath, take a little prasad, and then again, shoot around. What? For 10 years. He told me sometimes he'd even do it 3 times. Little bit out of our league, huh? We can't even do it with our shoes on. Even in a taxi, right? You know, these battery-operated taxis, they take you around. Even that's a struggle. So then I asked him, what about fasting? And he said, well, I can fast for 3 days and not even think about it. But there are others who fast for 3 hours and collapse. Isn't it? 3 hours and they collapse and they're shaking. So according to your body, you may reduce a little. So a little fasting is good. It's also materially healthy to give the digestive system a bit of a break, but of course we're interested in spiritual advancement. So just to cut down a little. Cut down. So that's fasting. One or salad or something. So rise earlier in the morning. 30 minutes earlier will allow you to chant an extra 3 or 4 rounds of the chapter Bhagavad Gita, etc. So you just get up a little bit earlier. It's very difficult for us. Because in the Kali Yuga, human beings are very lazy. Manda Samathanadaya. The Bhagavatam mentions, we're all quite lazy. But if one can rise a little earlier. I know Vaishnavas, God brothers, they get up at midnight. That's when they start their spiritual life, midnight. So chant extra rounds. So if you're initiated 16, if you're not initiated, try to come up to 16. Should take you about 2 hours. But you may want to increase to 18 or 20 or even 25. You have to think. Of course, many of you, as I mentioned, you're working and you have other responsibilities and household duties and picking the children up from school, whatever. But to increase our rounds is good. That's what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta wanted his disciples or encouraged them to chant 1 lakh of rounds a day. But he saw that we couldn't do that, so he reduced it. Read the entire Krishna book during the month of Kartik. So that's quite something, because there's 90 chapters, Krishna book. The best vow I've written here is to visit the temple, because when you come to the temple, immediately you hear about Krishna, you see devotees, you see the deities, you take prasadam, you circumambulate the deities, you walk around the deities so many times. You can do here or you can do outside around the moat. And immediately it's easier to chant, is it not? You're here in the temple, it's much easier to chant Krishna's holy name than at home, etc. So visiting the temple sort of means all of these things. So we should try to make some concerted effort to increase. So now a little bit about offering the lamp. The lamp, we can say, would be like our heart. So we're offering our heart to the Lord. So when you're offering, right hand with feeling. I've seen sometimes becomes a little humorous, and you have the puchari, and they take the incense and they whip it out, almost like one of the musketeers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Was that 6 or 7, 8, 9? Let me start ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bhakti, love and devotion. Love and devotion. That's the idea. It's not a dueling match. It's not the Olympics, saber or foil or whatever it is called that. So with devotion, you're offering your heart to Krishna. So who do you offer to? Well, you can offer first to Radharani if you like. You can offer first to Krishna if you like. Then Lord Chaitanya. You can offer to Radha and Krishna together, because they are together. So it's like one. Or it can be individual. It depends on your adhikari. And the word adhikari means your qualification. Offer to Govardhan, Lord Nrsimhadev, the Goswamis, and our Guru Parampara. So then what are we praying for? What is it we're praying for? We're praying to make spiritual advancement. Even if we don't know what is spiritual advancement or how to advance, there's no harm in praying. Please give me the intelligence to do the right thing. Let me become an instrument in the hands of Guru and Gauranga. Let me serve Prabhupada's mission. Some heartfelt prayers. More advanced prayer would be, let me be able to preach Krishna consciousness, food for life, just use books. Let me spend some time in Vrindavan and Mayapur. to control the senses or the mind. The mind is very wild. So these are different prayers. So one person may pray just to control the mind. Another person may pray for residence in Vrindavan. Someone else may pray to be able to develop their service to Guru or Gauranga. They're all correct. It simply depends on you, on how spiritually advanced you are. And right at the top, the ultimate prayer would be Alyadasi, the servant of Radha and Krishna. But that's very high, very exalted. So Krishna is very kind. He's arranged this temple, and he's arranged this very nice festival. And we're going to do the lamps in a moment. And then you'll take prasad. And then you'll go home and you'll put the bead bag to the one side. And you'll sit on the settee. You know what I'm going to say. You'll get someone to turn on the TV. And you'll start waving the South African flag. You know, rah, 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 rah. And for the next 90 minutes, you'll be glued, mesmerized in South Africa's attempt to win the World Cup. Right? I don't know whether I should be looking at the men or looking at the ladies. Anyhow. And please don't pray. There's better things to pray but I think some of you might. So we have a few minutes for questions. Anyone like to ask any questions? Shri Radha Damodar ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Kartik Vrat ki jai, Gopremanandi. Anyone like to ask anything? Make comment. You have 10 minutes. Anyone?
Yeah.
What was it?
I would like to know why to return the lamp.
Oh.
Or to complete the 7 times out.
Yeah. Sanatana Goswami was instructed to write with Gopal Bhatta Goswami Hari Bhakti Vilas. And Hari Bhakti Vilas is full of various rules and regulations. For instance, not to clean your teeth on a Kadashi from Hari Bhakti Vilas. I'll give you another one, Hari Bhakti Vilas. Before you get initiated, you're supposed to sleep on the skin of a black deer facing north. Now how about that? You're going to get initiated. Where are you going to get the skin of a black deer? I mean, they don't sell it in Checkers. Did you ever hear that one before? But this is Hari Bhakti Vilas. So part of this would be Archana Vidhi, which is the rules and regulations of Archana worship, or the worship of the deity, according to the principles of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. This is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, rules and regulations. So there it is mentioned, one is supposed to drop water, and then you can even do like a mudra, a shape, and then you put the incense there, and then you offer the prayers to the bell. There's a special mantra offering respect to the bell. And before you even sit down, if you're sitting down, you're supposed to put your hand on the ground and offer some mantra to Mother Earth. Then you sit down, then you offer to the bell, and then you ring the bell, and then there's various mantras for offering the incense, various numbers of times you twirl it to clockwise direction, and there's mantras actually from the Purusha Shakti prayers, Archana Vidhi. I remember years ago I used to memorize all these prayers and do this. So it's from that. There's no specific. Why is it we walk around, circumambulate in a certain directions? It's a culture. One is supposed to have, isn't it, the superior personality on the right-hand side. But then I could never understand why we offer our obeisances. It's the left side. I couldn't. And in the Gaudiya mat, they have the Guru Parampara in the opposite direction. You know that. But in ISKCON, Prabhupada allowed us to do it this way. He didn't really tell us to do it, but he didn't tell us not to do it. In the Gaudiya mat, and I still don't really understand why, ladies are not given the first line of Gayatri. You know, Om, Bhava, Svata, Savita. They're not given it. And I could never figure out really why. They say it increases Purusha Bhav. And Purusha Bhav means mood. And Purusha means like enjoying or exploiting. I couldn't understand how that increases. So I'm not really able to understand. But they don't do it. They don't do it. But we do, because that's what Prabhupada did, so we just do that. You'll find in the Gaudiya mat, they always have white bead bags. Occidenta, white bead bag. Gokishore didn't have any bead bag, because he didn't have any beads. He always chanted. But we can't follow in that. You know, we can't do that. So Prabhupada started off with the white bead bag. There's pictures of it in New York, white bead bag. But then it changed. So we just follow what Prabhupada allowed. And so this is how we do it's from the Archana Vidhi book. It's from the deity worship book, which is extract from the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Anything else you'd like to ask? A few minutes. Smita, say something.
I wanted to ask a question. During the Mother Lord, we see there are several reasons why we could meditate in this pastime. The most prominent one seems is the Yashoda Dhamana pastime. So, who should we focus on? Krishna as the true, delightful stealer of butter, or Mother Yashoda's devotion to Krishna?
fact is, Prabhupada writes, Majji Lila, chapter 22, introduction, one must always give like reference. The fact is, devotional service is bestowed by the blessings of a pure devotee. So, pure devotional service ultimately is Braja Bhakti, Sakhi Ras, Sari Ras, Madhuri Ras, and bestowed by someone like Coward Boys and Mother Yasoda. So actually our prayer should be to Mother Yasoda. But we can have Mother Yasoda and Krishna together. It all depends on our qualification. It all depends. The neophyte devotee, they just see Krishna. That's all. And then after a while they make advancement, they see their guru. But only the one guru. No second, third. Just the one guru. And then after a while they begin to see other Vaishnavas are also advanced. It's not just my guru. Others are also advanced. Just like from a distance you see the Himalayas. So what do you see? One mountain. And you come closer and you see many peaks. So the beginning devotee will just see God. And then, or God and my particular guru. Exclusive. And then as they make advancement, they begin to see others also. Siksha Guru, Param Guru. They begin to acknowledge and appreciate other Vaishnavas. And they make advancement. So it depends on our qualification. So I can't say it's up to the individual. So let us offer our hearts unto Lord Damodar, Radha and Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, the Yuga Avatar, Goswamis, and then turning the lamp to the Vaishnavas, right? Chotabada, Bhakti Gana, whether they're neophyte or whether they're advanced, Chotabada, Bhakti Gana. I offer my respect, Vandana to their feet, Shuchu, so we offer to the Vaishnavas. So thank you all very much. And I pray that Lord Damodar, Yuga Avatar, Lord Chaitanya, Kripa Avatar, Lord Nityananda can bestow their mercy on all of you. And you can go forward in your devotion and navigate yourself through all these difficulties, unlimited difficulties, all these wars that are going on and disease. It's very depressing. I looked on Google and there's these people in Israel, ladies, and they're weeping and crying because someone died. And then the next picture is same ladies, same attire, but in Palestine. And they're crying and crying and crying. It's very heartrending, it's very horrible. I mean, the whole thing is very disturbing. So we have to navigate ourselves through all this problems, in Russian, problems. But by taking shelter of holy name, Radha Krishna, Guru, Jao Prema